The restaurant smells of burnt sugar and old coffee. Warm air presses against each's face. Cutlery clicks like nervous fingers. Each's son tucks each's sleeve. Small hint. Cold palm. Pepper. That waitress looks like Mama. The old Mama lands heavy. Each's chest tightens. Each's tongue tastes of metal. He turns slowly. Wooden chair scraping. A thin scream of sound across the floor. The waitress stands near the window. White apron. Dark braid over one shoulder. Light cuts across her face. Sharp cheekbones. A familiar scarch near the eyebrow. Each's knees weaken. The room tilts. Bread burns in each's throat. That scarch wants blood on their bedroom floor. The night of smoke. The night of fire. He smells it again. Burning plastic. Wet ash. Doctor's spake income vices. Closed eyes. White shirts pulled up to her chin. He signed papers with shaking hands. The pen slipped. Encast in each's fingers. Dead. Buried. Gone. The waitress turns her head. Her eyes meet each's. Brown. Too familiar. Too life. A tray trembles in her hands. A glass falls. It shatters loudly. Everyone looks. No one speaks. Her gaze locks on him. Resignation flashes. Fear follows. She steps back. Heel slips on broken glass. Blood blooms on the tile. Each's heart slumps against each's ribs. Each beat hurts. Each beat demands answers. He stands. The chair crashes behind him. Four lips part. A breath air escapes. Each's name almost forms. Each's son begins to see why. The sound slices the air. She whispers something. Not to him. To herself. I should not be here. The lights flicker. The smell of coffee turns bitter. He moves closer. Every step feels forbidden. Her skin looks warm. Alive. Real. A manager rushes over. Voices rise. Hints wave. The waitress pulls her arm away. Blood drips onto the floor. Her eyes never leave each's. They plead. They warn. The past presses in. The fire roars again in each's ears. Someone grabs each's shoulder. He shrugs it off. She backs toward the kitchen door. The metal handle rattles. He sees 18. 18 chain at her neck. The same chain he buried with each's wife. The room closes round the arm. Air grows thin. Each's vision mirrors. She turns. The door swings open. Steam pours out. Heat rushes forward. He calls her name. Each's voice cracks. She freezes. Just for a moment. Her shoulders tense. Her breath shakes. Footsteps thunder behind him. Each's son screams again. She looks back one last time. Tears fill her eyes. Then she moves deeper into the kitchen. Into shadows. Into noise. He pushes forward. The smell of oil stings each's nose. Pans crash. Voices shout. The chain flashes once more in the light. Then it disappears. The kitchen roars like a living thing. Oil pops. Steam hisses. Heat slams into each's face. Sweat beats instantly. Each's shirt clings to each's back. Chefs shout orders. Metal scrapes metal. No one looks twice at panic. He pushes between bodies. Someone curses. A shoulder hits each's chest. The chain glimmers again. Between hanging pans. Between moving shadows. She slips past a swinging door. Plastic flaps brush each's arms. They stick to each's skin. The smell changes. Soap. Bleach. A narrow corridor stretches ahead. White tiles. Flickering lights. Her footsteps echo. Fast. Uneven. Blood marks the floor. Small red drops. Fresh. Each's heart pounds louder than the noise behind him. Each beat feels possessed. Memories collide with the present. Early in the mornings. Her silence in the hospital bed. The corridor bends left. He follows. A door stands half open. Storage room. Dark inside. He slows. Breath shallow. A crate shifts. Wood scrapes tile. She stands in the corner. One hand pressed to her bleeding foot. The other gripping the chain. Her face glistens with sweat. Eyes wide. Jaw tight. You are dead, he says. The words fall heavy. She flinches. Pain crosses her face. They told me you burned, he says. They shot me ashes. Her chest rises sharply. Tears spill but she wipes them really fast. I watched the coffin sink, he says. Earth hitting wood. A distant crash echoes from the dining hall. Someone calls each's name. She shakes her head slowly. Her lips tremble. You were not meant to see me, she whispers. The voice. Unmistakably. Each's knees threaten to give way. The room spins. She steps closer. He smells her. Soap and smoke hit together. Her hand reaches out. Stops, my dear. Do not touch me, she says. The words cut deeper than shouting. Footsteps approach from the corridor. Fast. Urgent. She backs through again. Fear sharp in her eyes. They will take you, she says. They will take him too. She glances toward the ceiling. Toward hidden corners. Each's skin prickles. A cold crawl up Each's spine. Who, he asks. The storage light flickers. Buzzes. She opens her mouth to answer. The door slams open behind him. Bright light floods the room. Voices freeze. Her face drains of color. Her eyes lock on something past Each's shoulder. She whispers Each's name again. This time like a warning. A shadow stretches across the floor. Tall. Broad. Boots step inside. Heavy. Deliberate. The air shifts. Colder. Sharper. A man in a dark uniform fills the doorway. No badge visible. No name. Each's eyes scan the room. Quick. Calculating. The waitress presses her back to the wall. Her breath stutters. You should not be here, the man says. Each's voice stays calm. The calm feels wrong. The chain at her neck slips from her fingers. IT swings once. 10 stills. The man notices IT. Each's jaw tightens. He looks at the father. 10 at the child crying somewhere far behind. You saw nothing, the man says. The words feel rehearsed. Practiced. The father steps forward. Each's heart races. She is my wife, he says. Silence spreads. Tick. The man exhales slowly. Almost almost. Your wife is dead, he answers. The storage light flickers again. Buzzes louder. She shakes her head. Tears run freely now. I survived, she says. Barely audible. The man turns sharply. Each's eyes caught into her. You survived too much, he replies. He reaches into Each's jacket. Letter creaks. The father moves without thinking. Steps between them. The man stops. Smiles thinly. Breathe, he says. Footsteps echo outside the door. More than one. The walls feel closer. The ceiling lower. She grabs the fat hair sleeve. Her fingers tremble. They said the fire erased me, she whispers. They said I would be safe. A distant siren wails. 10 feet. The man tilts Each's head. Listening. Not safe anymore, he says. He steps forward. The smell of cold metal follows him. The father feels Each's pulse in Each's ears. Loud. Uncontrolled. Her grip tightens. Her blood stains Each's sleeve. Do not let them take me again, she whispers. Behind them, the door slams shut. A lock clicks. The sound echoes like a verdict. The lock clicks again, deeper this time. Still beating into wood. The man in black smirks. No one moves. Only the father and Each's wife, frozen. He steps closer. Shadows stretch along the walls. Cold air brushes their faces. I warned you, he says. Soft. Deadly. For eyes flare with something fierce. Resignation. Defiance. Not yet, she whispers. The father swallows hard. Each's throat DRY. Each's hands shaking uncontrollably. The man notices. He tilts Each's head, studying him like prey. You brought him here, he says. Your son. Your weakness. A soper escapes from the child somewhere beyond the kitchen. Across through the tiles. Cuts the silence. She steps forward suddenly. Her voice sharp. Leave him out of this. The man laughs softly. Dark. Empty. She clenches her fists. Blood drips down her fingers. Red on white apron. He lunges, and instinct pushes the father forward. Bodies collide. Metal clangs. A pan falls. The man stumbles but recovers instantly. Ace never leaving her. You think you can hide? He sneers. From what can I die? The air hums with tension. Every breath feels stolen. Every heartbeat drums like a warning. She steps back towards the corner. Chain glinting. Her eyes wild. I will not go back, she says. Not ever. The man tilts each hit. A shadow of patience or cruelty passes over each face. 10. A sound from above. A flowerboard creaks. Sla. Intentional. He glances up. Front deepening. Something is coming. Her eyes widen. Fear mingled with hope. The father feels 82. A presence, impossible yet undeniable. The man stiffens. Ruin is sharp. They all freeze. The room feels smaller. Time stretches. A faint hiss. 10. A whisper of movement. She turns slightly. He turns slightly. But knowing the next moment will decide everything. A shadow detaches from the ceiling. Silent. Fast. It lands behind the man. A hand clamps over each's mouth. A knife presses cold against each's side. The man's eyes widen. But he doesn't scream. He chants. She steps forward. Her hand gripping her husband's arm. Eyes fierce. Breath steadying. The shadow moves again. Someone or something protects the arm. The father finally speaks. Voice low. Trembling. Who is that? The shadow whispers. Only you would see her alive. Her lips part in shock. Her hand trembles on each sleeve. The man struggles. But the grip is unyielding. The knife presses harder. She realizes the truth. They are not alone. Not anymore. Outside, the siren fits completely. Silence fills the air. Heavy. Expectant. And the shadow leans closer to the man in black. Whispering words only he can hear. The father and his wife exchange a glance. Fear and relief tank grow together. A storm has begun. And the eye is centered of the man in black freezes. Muscles stout. Eyes darting between the shadow and the arm. The shadow whispers again. Sharp. Cutting. A shiver runs through the room. Cold metal presses harder against the man's side. Pain sharp, immediate. He grits each's teeth. Each's voice low, dangerous. You will regret this. She steps closer to the father. Hand trembling, yet firm. We cannot let him go, she says. The shadow tightens its grip. Silent tread in every movement. The man struggles, but the word tilts against him. He stumbles back. Knocks a crate over. Wood splinters under each's weight. The fat hair's pulse races. Every nerve is screaming. He looks at each's wife. Her eyes burn with life. 10. A sudden roar from the kitchen. More figures appear. Dark uniform the. 2 minutes to fight. She steps in front of the father. Blocking him. Blocking the child. Eyes scanning, calculating. The shadow releases the man just enough. He collapses onto the floor, gasping. The knife drops with a clank. Breath comes in ragged bursts. Silence follows. The wife takes the fat hair's hand. He clings to it like a felini. They step towards the storage door together. Ace never leaving the fallen man. Outside, voices call again. Footsteps pound. Closer. She pushes the door open slowly. Light spills into the dark corridor. The father shoots the child behind him. Suddenly, a figure blocks the hit. Tall. Impassing. Ice cold as ice. She steps forward. Her voice unwavering. Let us pass. The figure tilts each's hit. Recognition flickers. 10. A smirk. Not fear. Not concern. Not yet, he says. You are not meant to live. Her grip tightens on the fat hair's hand. The child whimpers. She draws a deep breath. Ace floor with defiance. Not this time. Behind the arm, shadows shift. The air trembles. A home rises. The figure hesitates. The shadow moves silently to their side. Together, They step forward. The corridor stretches endlessly. But now, hope sparks with every heartbeat. The figure in black steps back. A warning hiss escapes him. This is not over. She glances at her husband. The father feels his heart steady, just slightly. They are alive. For now. But the fire of the past, the chains of truth, will follow Teram everywhere. A hint slips into bitches. Her hint. Blood and sweat mean growth. Warm. And for the first time in years, he believes in escape. But in the shadows behind, Ace watch. Silent. Patient. Waiting. The story is far from over. And the darkness is only beginning to move. The corridor seems to stretch longer with every step. Their footsteps echo hollow and sharp. The father holds each if his hand tighter. The child clings to each leg. She glances back once. Shadows roar along the walls. Eyes glint in the darkness. The figure in black does not follow yet. But the tension lingers, tika smake. They reach a stairwell. Cold concrete beneath their feet. The home of distant voices drifts up. She pauses. Breath trembling. We cannot go back, she says. The father nods. Every instinct screams danger. Every sense screams escape. A door at the bottom of the stairs creaks. Light spills out. A glimmer of freedom. But before they can move, a hand grips her shoulder. Strong. Unyielding. She spins round. The shadow. No. Another figure emerges. Uniformed. Ace unreadable. Who are you? The father demands. Voice loud, firm. The figure tilts each head. Silent. 10 head gestures. Follow. Confused, terrified, yet desperate, they obey. The shadow remains just behind Teram, a protective finterum. The stairwell descends into a basement. Musty air bites at their lungs. Cries and old machinery crowd the walls. They move quickly, silently. Every sound amplified. The figure stops at a metal door. Fumbles with a lock. Clicks echo like gunshots. Door swings open. Light spills inside. Not bright, but enough. A car waits. Engine idling. Doors open. She looks at him. Do we trust him? The figure does not answer. Only gestures again. Get in. They slide inside. Cold leather seats. Child cries softly. The father starts the engine. Tires screech against wet pavement. The shadow steps outside. A brief glance back. 10 vanishes into darkness. Sirens wail in the distance. Closer. She rests her head against each's shoulder. Whispers, almost inaudible. We might IT, but not safe yet. The father grips the wheel. Ace is scanning the road. Heart pounding. Behind Teram, in the shadows of the city. The figure in black watches. Patient. Waiting. And the chain round her neck glints in the fading light. A reminder. Of fire. Of truth. Of a past that refuses to die. Every mile forward brings hope. And danger. Because the story is not over. Not by far. And the world outside the car is full of shadows that remember her. Her hand hinds reaches again. Tightly. A Felini in a dark, uncertain night. They drive. Silent. Bracing for what is coming. And somewhere behind Teram, the darkness moves. Always moving. The road stretches ahead, empty and silent. Down tints the horizon with pale gold. A thin mist rises from the ground. The father glances at his wife. Her face is tired, bloodied, but alive. For the first time in years, she smiles faintly. The child sleeps, finally calm. Carol between Teram, safe. They leave the city lights behind. Concrete and shadows fade into fields and open sky. The air feels lighter. Fresh. Almost forgiving. She rests her head on his shoulder. Whispers softly. We are free, for now. The chain round her neck catches the first rays of the sun. A glint, not of danger, but of survival. The father exhales, letting go of months of fear and grief. The past is heavy, but they carry it together. Not as victims, but as survivors. They drive further into the horizon. Every mile forward a promise. Every breath I climb on life. Behind them, the shadows linger, distant and powerless. They cannot erase what is living. And for the first time, the father lost himself to hope. To believe that even after fire and loss, love, courage, and family endure. The story closes softly. Not with fear, but with the quiet strength of survival. And the sun rises, warm, unwavering, over a family reborn.